Hey guys, I just want to do a quick video to show you how to terminate coaxial cable. Coaxial cable is the cable that you use for your cable television. It can be used for CCTV, etc. I'm just gonna go straight into it. If you have questions, feel free to ask in the comments. This is actually I have a spool, 1,000-foot spool of RG6. This is actually tri-shield. And it's flooded in PE. You can look those up if you wish, but let's go straight into it. Like this is basically for people who have to do a considerable amount of coaxial wiring. Say you're wiring your home, or you just need to make different sizes. It's not for someone who just needs to hook up one television from the outlet in the house and go buy a cable for that. But this will save you a lot of money if you're doing some serious wiring. Anyways, if you are, get a nice spool of cable that I would recommend RG6 Coaxial from a reputable brand. This is tri-shield, but it's quite good. I've used it everywhere, and it works great. It has a very low amount of loss. And get compression fittings which look like this. And here's another one. As you can see here, we have a purple, or violet one here, which is for RG6 Coaxial, and this is the smallest one from Snap and Seal. It's an orange one just for RG59 standard. There's various colors for different sizes for different amount of thicknesses, which generally go with how much shielding is in a cable. I'm gonna put this aside and use the purple. I already have one side of this done and terminated. Should look something like this when you're done. So obviously measure out how much you need. Get some wire cutters, snap it off. Make sure the end is the dielectric core in there in the center is a nice circle and not smashed up from your trimming or whatever. And then you want to grab this tool, which this is important I think to show. It's an IT1000. That's the part number. Let's see if this is showing up or not. Yeah, and it's made by Thomas and Bettes LRC. So if you're looking for one of these, you can take a look at this, pause it, etc. And this is the patent number and so on. This is an invaluable tool. With compression fittings, this, and a spool of this cable, you can wire anything. So what you're going to do is it's self-explanatory. It only goes in on one side, and this is going to do a majority of the work. You're going to push it in on this side and let the other end come out just a tad, but it's to your preference. If you go too long, it's not going to hurt. If you go too short, it'll be too short, but you'll just have a little extra stinger. If you go too long, and you can trim that. So you push that top button down and you push it through. In my case, I left that much out on the end, but it's up to you on what you want. And then you just hold the one side tight and you spin it, and that lets the razor blade, specially designed in here, cut it, and actually cuts it in two different places, and you'll see why in just a second. So you just spin it. You don't have to spin it this many times, but I just like to. The razor blade in here is a little bit dull. So once you've done that and you feel confident in it, you take it and you just pull straight off like this. Okay, so that's going to leave you with this. Get that little bit of shielding that stuck on there, that bit of laminate. It's going to leave you with this, which is going to usually have the dielectric right here with some laminate and then a layer of braided aluminum shielding. What you're going to do, what you're going to want to do at this point is peel back the braided part of it back onto the plastic jacket. So just get that and start peeling it back, because you don't want this braided to touch the copper core, and this would all get pushed back into the right positions with the compression fitting. So you're fine with that. Don't worry about it being gone and you losing part of your shielding, etc. The majority of the shielding is from here out, not from the actual fitting. but or the termination end. So just take a good look. It helps to have good eyes here, because even one little piece, I've seen problems in homes and etc. in different places and different applications where just one little piece of the braided shielding has been touching here and was causing all sorts of problems. So, you know, take your time here. You don't have to take as long as I am right now. After you do this several times, you get really fast at it, but I'm going slow on purpose here. So you'll end up with something looking like this. See there, that's pulled back around it. You're left with just basically the dielectric core here, and obviously the stinger copper center there. So I'm going to take this, and on this wider one, the compression fitting is attached to it, so you just pop that off. It usually breaks there, and so you're left with this and this. So the first thing you want to do is take this, the compression fitting itself, and you'll notice one side is tapered out and it's wider, and one side's not. You want the wider end of this to go down on the cable like this, okay, and you can push it down as far as you want past it. Just make sure that's on, because I've done it a few times, definitely, I'll admit, and forgotten to put that on, and then you have to redo the whole thing. So at this point, you can take a look at this. You see that's where the dielectric's going to fit in the middle. That's the end where you're going to actually screw in. So you just want to fit that in, as is self-explanatory. And then the dielectric is going to be tight in that center. So push it down with your hands best you can, but be careful, because the stinger is going to come out on the end and you'll get injured a bit. So just kind of push it down a bit, because I generally finish this part off with some pliers or something. Some of you guys may have, you know, some faster ways to do it, and depending on the thickness, sometimes you can push it straight down with your hands without hardly any major force. So at this point, I think it's important, I guess, to show where the dielectric center is, core is from here. I'm trying to get it in the light a little bit. You see it's considerably down in there. Let me get this flashlight, maybe that'll help. You see it's down in there, so I'm trying to get that flush with the top, not this top, but the top there. That you can see that matches the size of the dielectric itself. So that's what I'm doing here as I'm pushing down, and you'll notice you're making progress or not as you do it with the stinger. The copper core will be coming out further and further. So it just takes a little pressure, just depending again on how much shielding, how thick it is. If you have the proper snap and seal compression fitting, I've had to use smaller ones when I've run out, and you really got to put some force on it. But if you use too small, it's really not a good idea. But now I am right up there with the making it flush. Yeah, just a hair more. And now that is fairly flush. Alright, let's take this. You'll see the stinger's pretty long, but that can be trimmed. That's why I said it's no big deal to how far out you go. And I'm trying to show you that to see how that's flush with that center. So you want that to be flush, and then you have your stinger. At this point, I like to trim it down to my own personal preference. This would actually work. It's not too long to work, but I'm going to trim that down just a little bit, just a hair, to my own personal preference on this. I actually like stingers a little bit long, but you just want it to, when it screws on, this to go in and this to completely seat all the way down to the core. So you could trim this down about half the length of what that is already, but you don't want to trim it down even with this, even though it would technically work because it goes in there. I would advise you to have at least maybe an 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/16 at least, coming out from the edge of this. But that's it. That's this is about. I have this. Well, no, that's not it actually. See, I'm already forgetting this part. The compression part. Remember, this is slid all the way down the wire. It looked like it's done. It would actually work, but it would be sealed up. Remember, I peeled all that back, and it's not going to show from this end, if it'll even show on the camera at all. But this is going to go up to here, and you're just going to kind of get that ready. You know, push it just a little bit, and then this tool has this lever here, and has this end, which I'm going to put the stinger in, the termination fitting in, and as you push this, this snaps this compression fitting in perfectly, and you'll hear a pop. So I'm gonna line this up in there, make sure it's in there. Stinger's not going to get bent. Get that ready, and if you listen, I just popped it in, and now we have the compression fitting, hence compression, and that just pushed those braided that braided bit back up a little bit, but not to where it's going to be into the dielectric and short out the copper center. So that is a termination, and as I was saying just a minute ago, I actually did about 12 to 14 feet or so, because that's what I need. So now I have two ends here, nicely terminated, ready to go, brand new pieces of cable. So that's how you do it. Again, you could do that, and I've done it plenty of times before I had this tool, is you can just use a razor blade and cut around there. You can use wire cutters if you have one that actually has a large enough gauge. Another set of wire cutters. You can even use this if you want to, that has the little wire cutter on the edge, and kind of go around the deal. You get the idea. Basically, you just want to get down to that dielectric and be able to push that compression fitting down onto it, down onto the cable, and then once you get it in there, pop it in. And if you have compression fittings, you need to get this tool. This tool used, I bought one used. I have two. One of them I bought used, and one of them I was given a brand new one by Charter. But this is I want to say around $100. It's been so long since I've purchased it. I don't know. They may even be replaced now. Probably are. But again, this is part number IT1000. Snap and Seal. It even has a guide up here on the top of what the colors are and what they go to. You see the razor blade, spring-loaded razor blade there. And on this side, Thomas and Bettes LRC. And there's the patent numbers and so on. Just for you guys, if you want to order one of these, you can check it out. Probably find it on Amazon, and I'm sure you can find it on eBay. But this would be a coax termination tool, but you'll find it under the actual name IT1000, Thomas and Bettes, etc., etc. But anyways, hope that helps anybody doing a lot of coax wiring and wants to get the best fittings to be able to do it the most expedient but proper way that will last. I've seen these things last for you know, for decades. These are just really good, solid fittings and have minimal noise. And when you're buying wire, again, I would advise just go ahead and get a great brand name, a good name that is recommended and brand wise, and get RG6 QS, which is RG6 Quad Shield. This is Tri-Shield. Tri-Shield's fine as well, but why not go ahead and get Quad Shield? It doesn't make the job any harder, and just adds an extra layer of shielding for a better noise floor, signal to noise ratio, etc., etc., etc. So that's it. Take care.